Hey everybody, it's Everett back with you from Hood Time Welding. Today we're going to be working on another barbecue pit. I know I just got done. I'm just getting into it right. Oh, sorry, the videos are just coming out right now for the first one, but what I did is all my extra jobs I just been stacking them on so you guys have something right through. I don't want that interruption like we had last year when I hurt my foot, and then you don't have any videos for a couple months. So I just been each video I'm just stacking it on, so even though it's only been 2 weeks, it's going to be I think like 2 months or a month and a half until you guys see this video. So the last video I talked about, I did have one big estimate that came in, which that's another barbecue pit, and I actually have a third barbecue pit that the estimate was approved. We still got some little details to work out, and then we're waiting on that third estimate to see if we got approved for that. It sounds pretty likely, but we'll have more on that later. So yeah, this one is a different pit in that we're not doing the whole thing. The last one we did from the base all the way up to the racks. This one we are just strictly doing the base. But the difference is this base is 28 foot long. So that's quite a bit bigger. What is it, 18 foot longer than the other one? And because it's that long, we're splitting it into two sections. We're going to do two 14-foot sections. And then when we get done, we're going to have it where we bolt them together. So yeah, I just got the steel in. It's all the sheet steel for the side, pre-cut by the steel supplier because it's just easier for them. I went through and cut all my angle up. I've got my coping done, and this isn't in all the angle. I actually have some more over here. The sides on this one, last one was 31 inches. This one they wanted 26. So we've got our uprights, and then you can see on those and on these ones, these are the ones already pre-drilled. So that way when we put it together, we already have the holes in it, and we can go ahead and we just got to make sure we get those pieces in the right place, of course. Got to pay attention to that. We'll get those all fit in, and then we should be able to just bolt it together. What I'll do is I'll make the two frames up, set them down without sheet metal on them because they're a lot easier to work with, and make sure all my holes line up. But I think I did pretty decent on making sure I located everything, but whoever knows, I might have screwed up somewhere. So we'll double check it before we go ahead and start with the sheet metal. So yeah, this one, like I said, the last barbecue pit I did was, money-wise, that one was the most expensive thing I've done. So then this one came in, and this one's even more expensive. So I opened my mouth, and bam, somebody proves me wrong right off the bat. But I'm not complaining. It's actually pretty cool. And like I said, we had that first one. People saw it. We've got two more on order, and we actually have that third estimate for something different. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started. So let's get going. So I'm not sure if I told you at the beginning, or when I was talking to you last. Yes, it's a new day for me. That's why I'm wearing a different shirt. I don't know if you caught that. But anyways, we got all 4 sides done. And so now we're going to start putting the sides together. And I don't know if I told you, but yes, it's 28 feet long. It's 26 inches high. But the big thing is it's 52.5 inches wide. And what it is they have a pre-existing pit with pre-existing racks. So we're building so those racks work with this new one. So we've got to have that width so that the racks work with it. And so the table, like I've told you before, is only 48 inches. So it's not wide enough to put them on like I did before. And I going back and forth a little bit on how exactly I want to do this. So what I decided is we're going to go ahead and do this. That's the nice thing. I've got that rolling table. I've got them 14 foot apart. The only thing is the rolling table is about an inch higher than that table. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to use some sort of spacer. But the reason I still want to stick with the table is if I line the one up, if I line the edges up on the table and line up on both sides there, we should get pretty close to being square, and we shouldn't have to mess with it too much. I got all the sides that are just the side pieces, I'd say within a 30-second at the most, they're out. So as always, I'm just trying to keep everything square, especially since we have plate that goes, or the sheet metal that goes on it, so that we put the sheet metal on it, it looks good. So the big thing here is just going to be, like I said, I've got to find some 1-inch spacers. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that or what I'm going to use yet. We're going to have to do a little scrounging. But yeah, that's the big thing about something this long, is just getting it so that we so we can keep it square and we have something nice and level to set it on. So like I said, we're still going to use this table in one aspect of, we're going to use it for its squareness. But like I said, we got to get that height back up there so it'll match that other one. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit of fun. We're going to have to figure out exactly how to do this. So it's going to take a little playing, but moving right along. So If I remember, I'll try to put a picture in it of it together bolted so you guys can see. But yeah, I just got going and I was just in the groove, I guess. And I really wasn't worried about taping. Sorry, guys. Most of the time I do, but once in a blue moon, I'm in the groove and I'm going, man. Trying to get stuff done. So the reason I had pulled it all together is first just to check to make sure all the holes lined up, which they all did. We had one that was maybe just a teeny bit, but you wiggle the bolt a little bit, it goes right through. The second reason we had to bolt it together is because the racks on this go into V's like this. I know my fingers don't really show a good V, but so what we're going to do, they use little pieces of round bar, and instead of making that all up, all I did was cut pieces of angle 1/2 inch thick, and we're going to use that as our V's because their racks, what they did on their old design was they spaced them 29 inches apart, so the rack sits in those V's. So when they're flipping them, they stay in place, they don't scatter or they don't move along and everything like that. That was the design they have, so that's why we're just trying to keep up with it. So if you look here, you can see we have all the V's laid out, or where the V's are going to be. This one ends up being 15 inches from the end, and what it is on one side they started at 2 inches and then we just laid them out 29 inches all the way down. And on the end where it's a little bit further apart, that's fine because they have like a little rack where they hang all the extra on the one end there's a rack sitting above this base where they hang all the extra racks. They don't really use that space. So he said, get it tight at the one end. The customer said, get it tight at the one end, and then whatever it fell on this end, it fell. So that's what we went ahead and did. So we're going to go ahead and start start plating this one. I don't know how much I'm going to get done. I don't know. I think the real feel today for temperature is like 105 or 102. I don't know. It's pretty hot. So we got a couple hours. We're going to get working on it. And then I got some days where I'm not going to be working on it because I'm going on vacation for a little bit. But for today, let's go ahead and get back to work. I don't remember exactly where I left off on the last video. It's been about a week since I was out here working on this last. I was on vacation. You guys might have caught the video earlier this year, but yeah. So I can't remember exactly what we talked about last. So right now we are all fit up with all the plates on this base. Everything's tacked into place, so she's all ready to get welded up. What I need to do is lay out on these pieces the skip welding I'm going to do. You know me, I just like to make the skip welds look nice, so that's why I lay it out, just to make them look nice and uniform. And it's just for me, I guess, mainly, and for the customer, for looks. We do have one more thing after we get it all welded up. We have to go through and put those V blocks on like we talked about. So I'll show you that and that. But yeah, like I said, I just wasn't sure exactly where I left off on my last video, or the last time I taped, if I talked to you at the end or what. Sorry. If I talked to you at the end, I just can't remember. So either way, we're going to go ahead and just get taping, and we're going to get back to work. So we got the base all welded up. I know it cut out tape in there on you, but I really wasn't worried about it. It's just straight welding. And then I started actually putting the V's on. Here's one. Sorry, I always like to make sure when I flip the camera on, I got you guys in frame. Anyways, here's the V. I did this whole side. I went down through, put them on. What I did was I actually made a little jig, which I'll show you that. What it is, sorry, get it in the frame there. It's just a piece of angle, flat stock, and then a 1/2-inch spacer. So what I can do is I can just put this behind like this, and the tacks are holding it up because there's a tack on the back side, but it makes sure the V is standing upright. I did a 1/2-inch spacer here, and then that is to make sure it's up, so it's parallel with the back. Something like this, it took me, I don't know, 3-4 minutes to make, but since I'm doing 24 of those, it's well worth my time. Then that way I can make sure each one, I've got the line already drawn on the base here. I can just line it right up, hold that in position, put a tack on it, and I know it's right where it should be. It's level this way, or sideways, and that it's sitting up the right way on the V. And like I said, something like that, where you're going to be doing multiples, and especially as many as I'm going to be doing, it just saves a lot of time. And that way I'm not fiddling with each one. But I'm not even going to worry about taping me welding those on for you, because it's just welding. But I just figured I'd show you that. The second half, or the other side of the base, I'm not going to tape either. It's just a repeat of this one. And so I just wanted to show you this base. This base is just a little bit different from the first. And so I wanted to show you this one. I've actually got the metal in. Let's see. I don't know if you can see it over there. Sitting on the floor, plus on the sawhorses for a third barbecue. This one, to a point, the base is going to be the same as the first one, but then there's some changes to that. The racks are going to be totally different, so I will tape that one because, like I said, this one's going to be totally different from the first one, and especially with the racks, they're going to be able to turn them without any help. So we'll get taped on that one. But anyways, as usual, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, big thumbs up. I'm really enjoying I'm getting quite a few comments at least from a few people, and it's really nice to hear people enjoy what I do, like to see what I do and stuff. So it's nice to hear. But anyways, we will talk to you on the next one. Bye.